What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. Market green as investors are starting to take a closer look at the severity of this new COVID variant. Now, a lot of stocks that were originally beaten down due to the lockdowns as of last year, they did have a little bit of trouble last week, but they rebounded nicely today. And two of the COVID vaccine stocks, Moderna and BioNTech, had a massive sell-off. This gives me the inclination that investors do not think this new variant is going to affect the economy or the stock market, giving us a little bit more green to go by. In this video, I'm going to break down everything for you. Let's get right into it. First off, as you can see, all four sectors green with the Russell 2000 leading. Now, small caps got beaten down during this most recent sell-off. Naturally, small cap and tech stocks do get beaten down a little bit heavier. Reason being is because small cap stocks are viewed as being a little bit more risky. And naturally, we've gone over this before, the tech stocks get valued based on future revenue. And therefore, you don't know if that future revenue is going to happen. So investors will pull heavily out of those. And that's when you see the shift going back over to your basic cyclical stocks, which we did see last week. But green light ahead. And as you can see right here, stocks advance as investors weigh Omicron virus. Now, that does not mean that the mainstream media is still not pumping their narrative, pushing fear into the entire public, talking about cases rising and so forth. We are starting to get into the colder months, especially where I live up here in the Northeast. And naturally, cases tend to rise a little bit, especially because we now have the flu starting to come around as well. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. But like I said, as of today, you look at the SPY, nice solid trend all the way up. Now, I will point this out on the daily. I'm going to keep this up for everyone to keep a close eye on. It is still a descending pattern. We're going to need to reclaim that 465 level. I'm sorry, that 460 level, get a solid close above that and a move up to 465 before we can officially confirm that there is a reversal. Now, if SPY tends to repeat itself just as it has done as of late, if it makes this correction, it is going to, or if it makes that correction to go back to the upside, it is going to hit all-time highs, giving us more green light and that inevitable Santa rally that we've been waiting on. Now, the last 2 months, I've covered this as well. The first 2 weeks of October and November were slow, and it's starting that same way in December. Now, I did mention this earlier in the video. You do have Carnival Cruise Line, which is a stock that was beaten down heavily during the lockdowns, and it did get hit a little bit as of last week, recovered nicely today. Same thing with American Airlines. I actually bought this 30 seconds before the close on Friday, locking in a small position, getting a nice gain. I think it was up a little over almost 11% as of today. Let's take a look at the IWM. Now, this one got beaten down and it recovered very nicely today. If you look at where we are at on the daily chart, that 210 has been a strong bit of support for us. We do have a little bit of basing here at 215. We're finding a little bit of resistance coming back into that 200 moving average. Now, we know that AMC is weighted heavily in the IWM, and as they are not going to trade exactly the same patterns based on natural, buying and selling that's going to go on individually throughout these, when the IWM gets a pull down, it's going to pull down all of your small caps. Now, the market runs in cycles. I talk about this all the time. And in the January and February of this year, there was not many stocks trading under a certain level that were valued as small caps. And now that has risen over 10 times the amount. So the market, like I said, is going to run in cycles. We're going to get that small cap run to happen again. So all of your stocks that are beaten down, that are still valued companies, weighted as and classified as a small cap, be patient, because as long as we can hold this 210 level, look for a little bit more basing to confirm or to be confirmed. And then we're going to get that move back up to the upside. Then that's when we get to play our small caps, get back into the swings, and we're going to get those 100% runners happening. Okay, so just be patient as we will eventually get back to those. Now, Moderna was absolutely beautiful. You see I have a couple lines right here. It was just sold off all day long, got back down to that 256 level. This gives me inclination, like I said, that investors do not view this new variant as being a severe effect to happen. Now, Moderna wasted no time other than to pump the narrative that we're going to need more vaccines. Even the president had said, if you're worried about it, then just go get a booster and just keep on getting a booster. It just seems like we're just pumping and pumping and pumping. And everybody has their own opinions on this. I just find the narrative to be pumped a little bit too hard. But taking a look at how a stock trades, just makes it seem like that investors are not on the same page, okay, as seeing the severity of this variant. And naturally, because I trade the stock market, yes, of course, I'm always going to protect my family, but as I trade the stock market, I'm going to look at this very, very closely. All right. Now, last thing I want to point out was our plays today. We had a few of them. ACET finally did get that rip above 1450. We had about a 75-cent quick move before it kind of just hung around all day long. But this one right here, Lucid. Now, Lucid was under SEC investigation, was pulling it down hard. It was already down on $7 or $8. It bounced off that $39 support. I said, wait for it to get above 38 or look for a dip at if it breaks below that $39 level. Let's take a look at the news on this one. Now, Lucid Motors was subpoenaed by the SEC. Reason being were something that had gone on during the SPAC deal with certain projections and statements. Now, it's not uncommon with these new SPAC deals that became very, very popular about a year and a half ago for the SEC to take a little closer of a look at the actual deal that went on. And when Lucid originally had this news that came out, it just sold off from all the way on that $47 level. And I thought that to be just a little bit too big of an overreaction. And the reason being is because so far, they're just being subpoenaed to take a closer look, and there's no hard facts out just yet. Now, if there was some hard facts saying that there was a complete, misconduct that was found, that's when you would see this stock just slowly sell off all day long. But because it came down so hard, so fast, I said if this breaks 39, look for no more than $1 to $3, and then it's going to rip back up to the upside. If you had gotten that dip anywhere close to $38, that was a 20% move, moving up even higher. The point of this is if you're always looking at news on why a stock is moving up or down, take a closer look. Is it rumors? Is it self-announced news? Is it all speculative? Or is this hard facts backed by somebody else, something else, such as the FDA and so forth? That's when you're going to find that the news is really going to stick hard, and that's when you see your all-day moves. All right, but this one was clearly not that. And like I said, Lucid has done a great job, especially seeing Tesla rebound. Now take a look at this chart, and we also see Tesla. That $1,000 level has been really strong, a big psychological level for Tesla. Now it did fill a little bit of a gap, reaching down to that 950 level. And as you can see, this pattern was almost similar to the entire Lucid pattern as well. Last thing I want to point out for everybody before I let you go is all of the news about the China delisting of stocks. And one of our favorites that we've been covering for a long period of time. I mean, we've been in this for probably almost about a year now, actually over a year now, year and a half now. This one, NIO has gotten beaten down pretty hard, breaching back into the 20s as of today. Now, the one thing I will point out to you is that it seems like every few months there is new articles coming out about the complete delisting of all Chinese stocks. And that's when you see, Alibaba, Billy, PDD, and NIO take a big blunder. Now, Didi did go through a little bit of issues, just like Luck and Coffee did, and we understand that. But when it comes to the entirety of every single Chinese stock being listed off the United States Stock Exchange, you can only go based off of what history teaches us. And I still do see this being a little bit undervalued. Meanwhile, China is still having other real estate issues and banking issues as well. So there is a little bit of that fear happening, just seeing that if they're not going to keep a close eye on their own companies and the US cannot oversee some of these Chinese companies, it is building a little bit of fear. But every single time, this has been bought back up once the news fades. So keep that in mind. Look at NIO. It is sitting at a $32 level, down about 30% over just less than a month. So keep that on your radars going forward. But that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.